I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
All right, welcome back to the second episode of the Best Thing We've Seen podcast. My name is still Flo, which I'm not happy with in the English language. I think it sounds bad. Who are you?
Florian sounds so
Florian.
formal.
I just don't like that.
Yeah, it sounds very formal.
It sounds very formal. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
My name is Gabriel or Gabe, as Flo is gonna call me probably.
I'm gonna call you Gabe. Yeah.
Yes.
Or Gabo.
Gabo.
Yeah, however I feel.
Sounds very gangster.
Yeah.
Yo, Gabo, what up, man?
How have you been?
A little sick, a little tired, but looking forward to this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Are you?
Yeah. Why not? Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Right. So tell them how this podcast works. What we do with it.
Yeah. If you're new to this, like we are, we talk about the best thing we've seen that has come out recently. So not counting, I don't know, any rewatches or anything like that.
Right.
But since we go to the cinema together a lot, there's a high chance that we're going to say some of the same new movies, because there's only a limited amount of films or TV shows or whatever that come out every week.
So it's the best thing. So it can be a movie, it could be a TV show, or
YouTube
maybe
video. YouTube video, whatever. Any kind of visual medium, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe a painting.
Yeah. If you can describe it vividly, I'm sure it will be interesting. Yeah.
Good. I'm going to the museum next week.
Okay.
I might see something cool.
A nice little teaser for the next episode. So you can skip that episode.
Maybe I'm gonna see a better movie than I see a painting.
Yeah. But yeah, I think with the recency thing, it doesn't have to be released like within the same week. I think it would be like if it's like within maybe 6 months. I think that's fine because we won't be able to watch like new things every week.
Yeah, and you have to keep in mind, since we live in Austria, we have a very different release window than other countries.
Right.
So if you're not from Austria, or if you are from Austria and wondering why it is we speaking English, to reach a wider audience.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it, to be honest with you. It's sort of like a whole different mindset.
Yeah, and it's kind of good to practice one's English, which. Yeah, like we said, we normally do not do.
No, we have an excuse to do it now. As a siren is passing by, did you hear that?
Yeah, it makes it more lively. More real.
Well, hopefully. But
we live in a big city.
Yeah, it's an atmosphere. We're recording this on the street. Just past us.
Hello, sir. What have you seen last?
What was I gonna say? Right. Sorry, because you said with the release dates, they obviously vary.
Yeah.
But like that was like evident in last week's episode because we talked about Little Women and Jojo Rabbit, which are two films that have been out for a while in other countries, but we are just now getting them.
And I think this week's episode is also going to feature some movies which will have come out probably in 2019 in most countries.
Yeah, I think it's most countries. It's in America probably, because the UK gets stuff late sometimes as well.
They do?
Yeah, not as regularly as we do, but I think certain films as well.
Okay. All right. So let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's jump right in.
Please.
You want me to start?
Yeah, please.
All right.
I think last week I started, so it should be your turn.
Okay. Right. So last week we talked about the sneak preview being sort of like a way to watch films that haven't been released yet.
Yep.
And there's one movie that's coming out. It's been out for like months in the US, and I've been really looking forward to it. But it's going to be released in Austria like a week after the Academy Awards. So that's always like a bit of a bummer because we want to see those films before the Academy Awards so that we know why they were nominated and blah, blah, blah. And so last week we had the privilege of watching Bombshell, which is one of my most anticipated films of the year, which is like weird to say because it's now February. I'm aware of that. But that's like a film that sort of had a lot of buzz in December when it came out in the US. And I was really looking forward to that because I'm a fan of every actor and I like the director as well. And if you don't know, it's a story about Fox News and the scandal that happened there with a sexual harassment scandal with Megyn Kelly and sort of and Roger Ailes.
Did you follow up on that story when it first became public news?
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally, we talked about it with after we went to the movies. We talked about it, Max and Laura and I, because we were just on the way home, and I was saying to them that was one of the first, or not one of the first, but that was one of the films where I knew everything that was going to happen. So I think if I hadn't known that, I would have been even more engaged, because like similarly to Ford versus Ferrari, where Max told us that he knew the whole story because he's a fan of that, and so he knew every beat of the story and he knew where this whole thing was heading, which I didn't know, and I knew nothing. I know nothing about that, so I was sort of more engaged in the story because I was wondering where it was going to go.
Yeah.
But in the case of Bombshell, I knew pretty much everything that was going to happen, but I still love that movie. And that's I haven't seen a lot this week. That this is sort of the only film that I've seen this week, and it comes out obviously whenever this is released, but it comes out like in a couple of days. No, sorry, it comes out after the Academy Award in
1-2 weeks.
In a week. I think it's released in February 13th.
Yeah, because we're recording this 5 days before the Oscar ceremony.
So it comes out after that. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get it released like somewhere in there. Yeah. So I love that film. I really did. And it was one of those surprises that obviously you don't know what film you're going to watch at the sneak. And it was one of those surprises that really got me.
Yeah. I think the great reveal.
Yeah.
Because when you sit in the sneak and you never know what's going to come, and you always wait for the screen that either presents the title or you finally see the first frame and you recognize an actor. But in that movie, you see the beginning credits, and then you just hear the voice of Charlize Theron, which kind of...
Yeah, she plays the main character, basically.
Yeah, which kind of revealed what movies was going to come on screen, which was a pretty cool reveal.
So you knew it from the voice straight away?
Yep, that's how I recognized it.
Because it took me a while, because I thought it was something else. Yeah.
I remember when she started talking, I looked to the right of me. I looked to Laura and she looked at me. We started getting excited. Because
it sounds horribly wrong. It just sounds horribly
perfectly normal.
No.
Because I think that's the only movie I know of that came out or is coming out in this time frame with Charlize Theron in it.
Right, but it's interesting that you recognize the voice straight away because it's like so different to what she usually sounds like.
Yeah, I think, she does have a different kind of accent, but voice register, if that's how you say it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll go with it.
It's quite distinct. She's a quite distinct voice.
I agree.
Just like Margot Robbie does.
Yeah, I agree. But I think they're both. Those two that you just mentioned there, super good in that film.
They are. I mean, Nicole Kidman was great too. She
Has
a way smaller role.
Yeah, she does.
I mean, she appears at the beginning of the movie and at the end.
Well, she's sort of the catalyst.
Yeah,
right? She's the one who, obviously, it's based on a true story, and she's the one who what's the word? She
initiated the whole.
Right, but she accuses the head of one of the founders of Fox News of sexually harassing her.
What was his name?
Her name,
the actual person. No, his name.
His name, Roger Ailes.
Roger Ailes. That was
he passed away like a couple of years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But
a couple of years ago, the whole story unfolded just a couple of years ago. 2016 it was concluded.
Yeah, I think he passed away right around that. Maybe not a couple of years ago, but maybe last year. What was your so you enjoyed the film?
I thought it was good.
Okay.
Didn't think it was great. I think the story was very interesting.
Did you know the story?
I knew what it was about.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what was going to happen. I knew that it was, not to reveal too much, but I think most people are aware of the story.
Yeah, it's a true story.
But I wasn't aware of the details or about the people who were closely involved, like Charlize Theron's character or Nicole Kidman's character.
He passed away in 2017.
Okay, so about a year after the events.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. But I think Nicole Kidman plays a real character, obviously, and as does Charlize Theron.
But Margot Robbie,
she doesn't. Yeah. And I was going to say that because Margot Robbie, I've enjoyed her work. I'm not like I wasn't a huge fan of hers, but she's been consistently great, I think,
Yeah.
over the last couple of years. But she really blew me away in that film.
She did.
I knew. I love that reaction because I know that I was like, I had the same reaction from other people I talked to about this because
I think she was one of my least favorite parts. Not that she was bad or anything, but she didn't shine as much as Charlize Theron did, which I think she was my highlight of the movie, or maybe John Lithgow, just because of the transformation he went through.
Yeah, he plays Roger Ailes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but there's one scene with Margot Robbie towards the end. So she plays like one of the up and comers. I think she joins Fox News in that. So she.
She switches from departments. She started under Gretchen. What was her name? Gretchen.
I don't know her name.
Under Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, under Nicole Kidman.
And
she
then
goes
switched to another apartment.
Bill O'Reilly, I think.
Yeah, who was also involved in the scandal.
Yeah. So her story is basically like she's the viewpoint of a young up and comer at Fox News and what she has to go through in order to get to where she wants to go.
Yeah.
And there's one scene towards the end, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a phone call between her and another, like a friend of hers who also works at Fox. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah, which is her and Kate McKinnon.
Yeah, Kate McKinnon, yeah. Outside of where she's outside the restaurant and she calls her friend. And that scene, I was floored by that. Like, honestly, that sounds horrible. I'm going to rephrase that, but I love that scene.
Yeah.
And I loved Margot Robbie in that scene. And because she obviously, she has like a bit of a breakdown. And I think that's so hard to do that believably.
Yeah.
And I bought it 100%.
I do agree that she had a great performance in that scene, especially. But
she doesn't have a lot to do.
Yeah, she doesn't have a lot to.
I agree.
And I wasn't just a huge fan of her story arc, not because I didn't think it was not important or not very interesting, but I wasn't a huge fan because of Kate McKinnon, who I'm not a big fan of.
Okay.
And I thought their interaction with each other kind of seemed unnatural. They didn't seem to really click on screen for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. But that scene I'm talking about, that doesn't really. That's not about them.
No. That's why I said of her scenes of it, that was the best one.
Yeah,
it's very emotional and very kind of.
Dude, I honestly that scene. I don't want to say I love that scene because it sounds so wrong because it's like but I think it's a great
It's
scene.
A very emotional scene.
Yeah,
kind of really shows you how a lot of people kind of shrug this kind of behavior off, which involves sexual harassment. Kind of shows how much it affects people.
Oh, for sure.
And makes them think maybe it was my own fault, which is, of course, not the way you should be thinking about it, but you can't really choose how you feel in that moment. And how traumatizing it can be.
For sure.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But because she's also is she nominated for Bombshell? I think she
so.
was. I think she was at the Globes. I don't think she is for the Academy Award. Is she nominated?
I only know of Charlize Theron. I believe she is nominated because maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I do believe at least 2 people are nominated from Bombshell. Charlize Theron or maybe John Lithgow.
No.
Isn't?
No.
No.
Best. I don't want to say anything wrong. Yeah, you look it up. I think you're right. I think she's nominated for an Academy for Best Supporting Actress because obviously Charlize is nominated for Best Leading Actress.
But that's not her first nomination, right?
No, I, Tonya and stuff.
I Tonya, right? Which I absolutely loved.
But I agree with you, dude, because the film as a whole, I wouldn't say that it's like a masterpiece or anything. Yes. Far from it. I think it was very similar to. She's nominated.
She is nominated for Best Supporting Actress. Yes.
And Lithgow.
No, the third one is makeup and hairstyle for John Lithgow's appearance. Yeah.
And Charlize Theron.
Yes,
she looks incredible in this. Like she looks so like the real person.
She does. After I went home, I looked up the interviews between her and Donald Trump, the real ones, and she does.
Yeah, those are the ones that I've seen back in the day.
Okay.
That's like I was really invested in that story, and I was watching all those interviews.
I was aware. I heard of the interviews of Donald Trump behaving preposterously, like he always does.
Sure.
But I wasn't aware that it was her her character from Fox. Yeah,
Right.
she now has a YouTube channel, as I found out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She lost her job, I think. Didn't she? Or she switched networks or something?
Yeah, she definitely switched, I think, to another network, and then
She went to NBC, and then but now she has just a YouTube channel.
as far as I'm aware,
Yeah, I don't know.
that's what my research of 2 minutes showed.
Right. But yeah, it reminded me of like an Adam McKay film, a recent one, like The Big Short or Vice, which are like two films about political topics, but like sort of told in a cheeky, funny way.
Yeah, with a lot of fourth wall breaks.
Right. So it just reminded me of that. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was as good as those films are, but it sort of it just reminded me of that. Just sort of to tell a tragic story, or not a tragic, but like an important story in like a cheeky way.
Are you a fan of the director of Bombshell?
Yes, he's one of my most viewed directors, which is crazy.
Which other movies did he make?
Well, he made all of the Austin Power films.
Ah, okay.
I'm gonna look this up because I think I've seen because there's like I've looked up like my most watched director, and he's like literally up there. Really? Not on purpose though. I wasn't seeking out his films. It was just like it just turned out to be him that I watched a lot of his films. He did Trumbo more recently. Here we go. So he did All the Way, which is a TV film with Bryan Cranston where he plays Lyndon B. Johnson.
He does a lot of biographical movies.
Yep. Then he did The Campaign. Have you seen The Campaign?
I have not. No.
I love that film. I watched that recently on the plane again from Toronto, funnily enough. But you know what film it is?
No.
It's the Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis.
Okay.
It's great. It's one of those stupid comedies that actually works for me.
I'm not a huge fan of Will Ferrell, of his style of comedy.
Me neither. That's what I'm saying. That's one of the rare ones that actually works for me. And then he did Dinner for Schmucks.
No idea.
Steve Carell and Paul Rudd, where Paul Rudd brings a stupid guy to a dinner where they all need to bring a stupid guy to dinner. Yeah.
Okay.
Then he did Meet the Fockers.
Oh, okay.
The Ben Stiller.
Which one is Meet the Fockers?
I think it's the first one.
Okay.
Is it
No,
it's Meet the Parents. Hold on. Oh, he did all of them.
Okay.
No, he did Meet the Parents. He did Meet the Fockers, and he didn't do the third one. I think there's another one, right?
I don't know.
And he also did Recount, which is another TV film. He does a lot of TV films, which is about the
Bush and Al Gore.
And Al Gore, yeah, with Kevin Spacey. That's also a good one.
I've never heard of this movie. It's a wild guess.
And yeah, Austin Powers, obviously. So a lot of different things.
I love political movies.
Yeah, for sure. Austin Powers.
Very political.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, yeah, I think it's another important story to be told in Bombshell. And I think the whole cast is great in this. I wasn't a huge fan of John Lithgow.
Not?
Because I think Russell Crowe plays him as well. Plays Roger Ailes. There's like a TV show. And I haven't seen that. But just from the look of the trailer and stuff, I preferred the way that he looked. And I think
Russell Crowe?
Yeah. I think he reminded me more of the original Roger Ailes.
I thought John Lithgow was a pretty great visual representation of the real.
You don't like him, do you?
I'm not a huge fan of this.
Because I'm not either.
I did like him in this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm always a big fan when they do this kind of makeup right.
Yeah.
Because I hate it when a lot of movies don't do right, in my opinion, is old people makeup.
Right.
I think it looks very fake, and one of the reasons it looks so fake is the makeup stretches the lips a lot. Mm-hmm. They all kind of look at plastic surgery, which kind of makes it kind of uncanny. But they did great in a great way in this movie. I don't know if it was the same team who did Gary Oldman and Darkest Hour.
I don't know. Was it?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Great fan makeup. Yeah. But I might not have recognized him if I didn't know it was John Lithgow.
Okay.
I mean, after a while, maybe, because it also has a very iconic voice.
Distinct
voice, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're interested in that story, if you don't know it already, then I would definitely recommend that film because I think it's an important story and the cast is great. And as I said, I think obviously Theron is she sort of disappears in her role.
Yeah.
And I completely understand why she's nominated. But I'm now starting to think that Robbie is actually like a really, really good actress. Not that I'm just now realizing that. Maybe I should have realized that before.
No,
So what have you seen?
Well, what I've seen, just a second about Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Although I think she was not bad in this movie, I think her best role so far still by far I, Tonya.
Well, it's the role where she had the most to do.
Yeah, I mean,
Sort of
yeah,
the
she
lead
was a leading
character.
actress.
Yeah.
But I think she very much deserved her nomination. I mean, she had some very hard competition, so I do understand why she didn't win, of course. But
well, I agree.
yeah.
She's great in that film.
I think she
Not
really
taking
has
anything.
established herself as a great actress, so
Yeah.
A-list actress.
For sure.
Yeah. What I've seen this week, which I'm I'm very surprised that you haven't seen this movie because I thought you were looking forward to it so much, is Uncut Gems.
Well, I've seen that already.
Ah, right. I just remembered you saw it at a film festival.
Yeah, I saw that one a while ago.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the best thing you've seen?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Is it the
I mean,
only thing you've seen?
Yeah, I've seen two things, which are Bombshell and
Right.
Uncut Gems.
Okay.
Um,
On Netflix, right? It came out
yeah,
on Netflix
it came on
a couple
Netflix
of days ago.
on January 31st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about what it's about
It's about a
and who's in it.
if you haven't heard about Uncut Gems, it's the lead role with Adam Sandler, who plays a jewelry salesman in New York, who has a bit of a gambling problem, and he's quite in debt, and he thinks a lot of his problems can be solved with a rock which contains a couple of uncut gems he got from Africa. And he's quite enamored with this stone, as is a basketball player who visits his shop. And
Kevin Garnett.
yeah, real basketball player.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of cool
Yeah.
to cast a real basketball player, because I looked up his acting credits before that, which was pretty much non-existent. And who also gets very enamored with the stone and wants to borrow it. And then it's kind of like, I want to say cat and mouse, but
Cat and Mouth.
cat and mouse. A game of Adam Sandler wants to get his stone back, but he doesn't seem to want to give it back to him, and he wants to track him down, get stone back, etc., etc. And it
Sounds much more dull than it is.
Yeah, it doesn't have kind of a grand story. It is more about the story of kind of a chronic liar,
Yeah.
a chronic bullshitter.
Adam Sandler.
Yeah, Adam Sandler, who
He also has a gambling problem.
the gambling problem and a marriage problem and problems with his new girlfriend and with his children, with pretty much everything. And every time he tries to get out of things, he just makes it kind of worse, just because he can't tell the truth. There is a reasonable option to solve a problem, he decides to go all in. And instead of just paying his debt, he wants to pay it back and get extra money out of it so he can do, I don't know, something more, which always kind of bites him in the ass. And he has a big temper problem, which also is a big part of the movie. And now we're talking about Adam Sandler, because a lot of people are quite upset or surprised that he wasn't nominated for either a Golden Globe or a Oscar nomination. I was quite surprised that the movie didn't get anything. Neither script, directing, whatsoever. Although I do think he should have deserved a nomination, or a nomination in anything. I would not have rooted for Adam Sandler to win.
Right.
Although I think he was quite good. I think there are just people who did a better job this year. And I think the reason his performance stands out so much is because it's quite different from his usual work, and was kind of a Adam Sandler comeback in the dramatic role. Yeah. And one thing about this movie, because once we talked about what was it called? Not Sorry to Bother You. It's another movie with Lakeith Stanfield, who also plays a role in this movie in Uncut Gems. No, but the movie with
Knives Out.
No. Also set in New York, about the woman who forges autographs. by famous
That's
writers.
with Lakeith Stanfield.
No, not with Lakeith Stanfield. It's just,
Can You Ever Forgive
Can
Me?
You Ever Forgive Me? Not Sorry to Bother You. Yeah. And because once we talked about this movie and we talked about the New York aesthetic a lot of movies have, which this movie also very heavily relies on. It's quite dark, quite grey city. Just makes the whole city and the whole movie seem kind of dirty, which is kind of a cool aesthetic, but slowly I'm gonna get a little annoyed by it. But because New York is, I've never been, just to be clear, but it does seem like a pretty good-looking city. I mean, yeah, it is quite a dirty city, as are a lot of big cities, but it does seem to have a lot to offer. And if you compare, well, it's kind of a more modern way to portray New York, because if you look at the old Woody Allen movies, which about 90% are set in New York and Manhattan, it looks very different. Back then, New York is way more romanticized than it is now. And I do think it's kind of cool to see a new way to portray the city, but all this gray and dark kind of filters or lighting in those movies kind of take away from the aesthetics. I mean, I guess that is the point, but it kind of seems boring, because if you then look at movies like Knives Out, which have these vibrant colors, it is more fun to watch.
Right, but I think the thing with Uncut Gems is it's not supposed to be fun to watch.
No,
it's like
it
literally
isn't.
like a 2 hour 20 minute like.
No, I do understand why they do it for
Panic
this
attack.
kind of movie. Yeah, it is very good description. It's kind of a panic attack wrapped around in 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I think too many movies, I feel, do this lately. Or whenever I now think of movies set in New York, I have this kind of grayish picture in front of me. So I'm kind of excited to see a new portrayal of the city. Although, yeah, I do agree, it is a good choice for the movie Uncut Gems, because it kind of also looked like it was filmed the early 2000s, late 90s. The whole picture isn't as sharp, which also gives this kind of, panic attacky feel, because everything kind of seems dark and kind of if your vision was slightly blurred if you look at the picture. But yeah, it was a very intense movie, and if you haven't seen it, see it. If you have Netflix, you can just watch from home. But be aware that it's quite an intense film to watch.
Right. But did you love it?
I didn't love it, no.
Okay.
I liked it very much,
but
I didn't love it.
Okay. Was it the way you thought it was going to be?
I had no idea what the movie's about. Okay. And I wasn't aware it would play it in such a small time frame.
Right.
About such an kind of unimportant story, because this gem, he has the gem, he doesn't have the gem, he wants the gem back, which is kind of great big part of the story. But I do kind of see why people would love it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting from just to watch the character, but the story is not that interesting if you think about it. What I did love about the film, which made a very cool film for me, was the ending. I thought it was quite good.
Yeah. There are some audible gasps in the audience when that happened.
I think it would be a great film to watch with an audience.
Yeah, it's a shame that I read about this. That apparently no cinema was allowed to show it in Austria because Netflix didn't allow them to. It's very strange.
Yeah.
But you can watch like Marriage Story or other Netflix films, but you can't watch this one, which I don't know why. Yeah. But I think it's still good at home, obviously.
Yeah.
And I agree. It's good to see Sandler back in a dramatic work, because he's not bad at all. He really knows what he's doing. But I feel like that role was sort of written for him, so he didn't have to do as much, maybe. But it's an intense film, that's for sure. For sure, it's like similar to the last film that the two directors did. It's Good Time. Have you seen that with Robert Pattinson, our Twilight friend Robert Pattinson?
After I saw the movie, I did look up the directors, and so looked up what other movies they did, and I have to say, Good Times looks quite interesting. It kind of reminded me of Drive from the aesthetic.
The pink,
began neon colors and kind of his look.
But the thing is,
just from his look, The Place Beyond the Pines.
great film.
Yeah.
But I saw Good Time like when it came out like a couple of years ago, and so I was kind of disappointed that Uncut Gems is very, very similar in style.
Mm-hmm.
That's also like just a frantic pace the whole way through. And that's, I think I've seen that in Good Time, so I was kind of hoping for something else, even though it fits in Uncut Gems perfectly, and it's what the movie's trying to do. I was just hoping that the directors, who I really like, and I think they are very exciting directors, but I was hoping that they would do something a bit more different.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, they know what they're doing, so maybe they just hone in on their skills and they just do what they do best.
Talking about Robert Pattinson, I'm also quite excited to see him in those serious roles and kind of more challenging roles.
Sure.
Because the first time I saw Robert Pattinson was in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And then I think we all saw him in at least movie posters of Twilight.
Yeah.
And he kind of had, it's quite alright, don't have to see it. But it kind of had this stigma that he's just...
Yeah, he's
the Twilight guy.
Yeah, he managed to break out of that.
Yeah, and I think it's great.
Yeah,
because seeing in things like Lighthouse, and I was quite sad that I didn't get to see, didn't manage to see, what was it called? Something Life, the science fiction mystery
High
movie.
Life.
High Life. Yeah.
Right. You're not missing much there. I like that movie, but it's Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, he's one of those actors. Same with Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
They both managed to sort of break their molds from the Twilight thing.
Yeah, but I think Robert Pattinson has more serious roles as far as I can see. I mean, I haven't seen Personal Shopper with
it's a good example.
Kristen Stewart, but a lot of movies I have seen her in lately were Woody Allen or like Charlie's Angels, a lot of comedy heavy roles of American Author, which were still quite a big departure from her role as Bella, in Twilight. But I would love to see her in more serious roles.
For sure.
Yeah.
But as you said, there's like there are a couple of films you can seek out, and she's great in those.
But quite more kind of indie productions, which isn't a bad thing.
She's also in what's it called? The Sean Penn one, Into the Wild.
Yeah, a very small role.
Very small role. Yeah. Okay, so those are like the two main new things that we've seen. Have you seen any recent TV show?
Well, still watching Futurama.
Sure.
And still watching the Futurama movies, which there are 4 of. But what I saw recently was a Studio Ghibli film, because if you haven't heard, Netflix has acquired the rights to Studio Ghibli, at least in Europe. So with February 1st, 7 Studio Ghibli films released on Netflix, of which I saw
7?
one. Yep. 4 by Miyazaki and 3 others.
I thought it was 21 or something.
I think they have acquired the right for 21, but they're probably going to roll them out slowly, month per month. But, I saw Castle in the Sky. It's pretty cool. Not Hall's Moving Castle.
And you've seen that one before?
Not really, because a friend of ours, Aaron,
that's a good English
name. It is. Who I grew up with. I went to his house to watch this movie, I think on like 3 occasions, and because he loved that movie, and I think we never made it past like the 30 or 40 minute mark.
What did you do?
I do not know. I think just something came up, or his parents came home, they wanted TV, or
lust came over you.
Yeah. I don't know why, but we never managed to finish the movie. So it was my first time to actually finish the movie and see Laputa, which...
Sorry, what?
Laputa, which is the castle floating in the sky. But Miyazaki wasn't aware that Laputa means the whore in Spanish, which he now kind of regrets naming it Laputa.
Right.
But yeah.
So that you only see that towards the end of the film.
Like towards the last 40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Like a 2-hour movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe 140.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you seen apart from Bombshell?
Well, that's the only new thing I've seen.
Okay. What's old thing, rewatch, whatever, or YouTube?
Yeah, I'm gonna recommend a YouTube show, which
show. Okay.
Well, it's on television, but there's like an official YouTube channel where you can watch the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm a huge fan of UK comedy, and there's like a whole panel show, love going on over there. There's like a huge amount of shows, and it's always like with the same people. So they're like not like there's like I'm gonna say like 30, 40 people, and they like 5 of them always appear on some kind of show. So they switch them around, but it's sort of always the same people. And there's like I love some of those shows. But I've gotten into a new one quite recently, and it's called Taskmaster. Have you heard of that?
No. It's a kind of reality TV.
No. It's great because what I love about the Brits is they come up with amazing ideas. So it's basically,
or not reality, sorry, game show.
It's kind of a game show, yeah, for sure. So the thing is, you have like 5 contestants, I think, and it's over. There's 7 seasons. I've only seen the first 2.
Like the full episodes are up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Full episodes are up on YouTube, on the official Taskmaster YouTube channel. And I've now started to watch. I've seen like bits and pieces. I've seen like clips, but I've now started to watch the whole thing like chronologically. And now I'm like through the first season. So you have a Taskmaster. He's like the host, and you have his sidekick, and you have 5 contestants.
Yeah.
And there's like 6 episodes per season, and you always like the tasks are recorded beforehand, so they always like cut to the tasks. So they recorded those in like a separate location like a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
But it's always like crazy tasks. It's like so they always show how the contestants did the tasks, right? So one after another. So they said, all right, let's see the next task. And then let's start with this contestant. Let's see how he did it.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah. For example, one of those tasks is he enters a room. There's the task that's always like developed in it's always delivered in an envelope. Okay. He opens that up, and then he reads the task. And there's like an egg on the table, and it's like whoever can eat this egg the fastest wins, right? So that's just a simple task. Yeah. That's one of the more recent ones that I've seen. So then you see how each contestant did it. So one of them cracked it open, drank it raw.
Okay.
Other ones just said, no, I know I'm not going to win this. And he literally like cooked it perfectly, seasoned it, made a whole breakfast of it. Took forever, but really enjoyed it.
Are they all in the same room when they do this?
No.
Okay.
They're separate.
Okay.
They don't see how the others did until the show. But that's like a really, really small task. Another one is, for example, there's a bathtub full of water, and whoever can get rid of all the water first wins. So they can't like lift the bathtub. So they have to figure out a way how to get rid of the water.
Do you have any tools?
Bucket.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like tools around the house, but you don't have like a set of tools that you can choose from. But there's like a shed where there's like garden tools in there, so you can go in there and sort of grab what you think would be interesting or good. But the tasks I can't remember. Like there's one like where you get a potato, and there's like a huge there's like a golf hole and a huge area around it which you cannot step on, but you have to get the potato into the hole, but you can't step on the thing.
So what if you throw the potato and you miss?
Right,
you're fucked.
Right.
Okay.
Or you have to.
You're fudged. I'm sorry.
What they do is if they miss, then they build some sort of stick with which they can retrieve the potato. Okay. Right. And it sounds like obscene, but it's the people who make like the Taskmaster, the sidekick. He's always the guy who's on location with them, delivering the tasks, and he's a great character. And the contestants, they all make the show really, really good.
So it's still live, the show?
I'm not too sure. I think it's a pretty big success.
Okay.
So I think they've done like 7 seasons. And I would think
it's
that
still kind of a modest number for a game show, seeing as how many game shows have been on the air for like 20 years.
Right. It's a more recent one.
Okay.
But I would be surprised if there wasn't a season 8. Yeah. But I'm not sure. As I said, I'm just now like watching them chronologically, and I'm now like in the middle of season 2.
Sounds fun. You'll watch an episode.
But they get the contestants. They switch every season. So you have like a season which is 6 episodes, and there's always the same contestants. And then at the end of the season, the guy with the most points, he's sort of the Taskmaster.
And what's the prize?
Bullshit.
Okay.
No, it is. It's funny bullshit.
Okay.
In the second season, you get like a golden statue of the headmaster, of the Taskmaster.
Okay.
It doesn't mean anything.
If it's golden.
But it's good because in every episode, the first task is always to bring something.
Okay.
So something valuable, something obscene, every contestant,
personal.
something personal.
Mhm.
And then the winner of each episode gets all of those items. But I don't think they actually do. I know that they don't do, because some people bring their marriage certificate, they bring their wedding ring, and they're not going to take that away from them, obviously. But at the end of the season, there's like a whole big prize, whoever accumulated the most points over the whole season. And then new season, new contestants.
And how many episodes per season?
I think it's 6.
Okay.
And it's like
Correct.
45 minutes.
Okay.
It's like an hour with...
And just
with
one
that.
task for...
No.
episode?
Per episode, it's like 5 tasks.
Okay. Cool.
But they vary from difficulty.
Mm.
One is eating an egg, and the other one is make a music video about a children's song, and the most creative one wins. And the Taskmaster is obviously he's the one who judges it.
Mm-hmm.
So he watches it with an audience in the studio and sees their reaction. Then he's like, all right, I'm gonna rank this, blah blah blah. And there's some. It's just the interaction between them, the Taskmaster, his sidekick, and the contestants is what makes the show great. It's really, really good.
Sounds fun, yeah.
So I would definitely recommend that, because I haven't seen anything else recently.
That's
but it's good.
A week is not a lot of time to
No,
see
it isn't.
a lot of new things.
But that's why I thought it would be interesting to also include like YouTube stuff, because you definitely watch like a YouTube video a week.
Yeah.
No,
Let's
I'm
be
saying-
honest, yeah.
yeah. That's
like
like
5 a day.
yeah, but that like you're not
It's a
going to
lot
be
of
able to
time.
watch a film every week.
Yeah.
So it's like the best thing. Maybe next week is going to be a painting.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I heard it's a great exhibition.
Yeah. Where is it?
MAC, Museum of Angewandte Kunst.
Right. Translate that. Angewandte.
It's an art museum.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So anything you that's basically the old thing that you've seen, right? The Miyazaki film.
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot this week.
Anything you're looking forward to seeing in the next couple of weeks?
The Oscars.
Right. That's right. So that's like 5 days away.
Yeah.
We're going to be watching Harriet,
Yeah.
which is something I'm not interested in.
Yeah. But there are not a lot of big movies or big nominations that we have not seen already. So there's not a lot.
I think we've seen
things to see.
basically everything.
Which has not happened
No.
every year.
And
Or maybe it's one of the first we have seen.
Right. There's
everything.
a couple we're missing, but Bombshell was a huge one that was missing, and thanks to the sneak, we saw that one. There's one I'm really looking forward to is the new Clint Eastwood film, and Kathy Bates is nominated for that.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
don't know
but that movie is
Richard
not
Jewell.
Richard Jewell. Yeah. But that movie's coming out in April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know what is going on, but whatever.
I think it's kind of great that he's still making movies, and he's kind of departed from his old films, like Western. And
Yeah.
Him in the main role is kind of the badass. And now he's done more biographical movies.
Right. Well, he was the badass in The Mule.
Yeah, yeah. He was kind of an old badass. It's kind of a different take on the whole thing.
It's like Gran Torino, right? The old
yeah.
badass.
Yeah, but he was a non-violent
For sure.
kind of badass. He was badass in the sense of he was an old man who still got involved in this kind of thing. But he was very scared, his character, and he wasn't very much on board with transporting illegal goods or whatever. So
He did it because he had to.
yeah, and I thought, God, Casey Affleck was pretty cool in this movie, The Mule.
Was he in that?
Wasn't he? He was the police officer.
Bradley
chasing
Cooper
him.
was that.
Fuck.
But I think
I think of the old man and the gun.
right. But I was
Casey Affleck.
But I think Bradley Cooper is the there's another cop. It's
If you
Bradley
say so.
Cooper, and I think it's Fishburne or
Fishburne.
or
That's the police
Whitaker.
chief.
Yeah, I think it was Lawrence Fishburne. I would bet my money that that's Lawrence
Looking
Fishburne.
up.
Come on, baby.
It's ranked by appearance, not by top build. Okay, yeah. Fishburne, Bradley Cooper,
Yes!
and Michael Pena.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
I'm happy. That's a good way to end this episode.
No,
but I
being
think,
right.
yeah, Casey Affleck is an
old
old man of the gun. Yeah.
Wasn't there another movie which came out in the last 1 or 2 3 years where he also played a cop?
Well,
I just have this picture of him burned into my mind with the mustache, which was Old Man the Gun.
that was Old Man of the Gun. Yeah. I can't. Did you mention about a Sea was in that time?
Yeah.
He was in
Ghost Story.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
He's now doing a new one.
Really.
Yeah, it's called Light of My Life.
Oh.
I don't think it's released yet.
So now is the public okay with him again?
No,
No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
because they've seen Bombshell and they know that it's not acceptable anymore to be sexually harassed at the workplace. Allegedly.
yeah,
We don't know anything.
I have too little information about this whole Casey Affleck thing to
Yeah.
make any statements.
Well, it wasn't
Yeah.
alleged harassment
Yeah.
at work, but we
I
don't
don't know
want
any
to.
details.
Yeah, we don't know anything about it. All right, so yeah. Once again, thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you. It's a fun episode.
For sure, and go and watch Bombshell,
Yeah, and Uncut
Uncut Gems. Yeah, those are
which-
two like difficult.
Yes,
subjects,
Bombshell
but-
is still kind of a lighter movie because this do have.
I wouldn't say it's lighter,
Yeah,
but it's more
they
easy to
do
watch.
have a bit some humor in it and some fourth wall breaks, which kind of makes it more bearable. It is a tough subject.
Right.
Yeah.
And Uncut Gems is like if you want something stressful for two
It's very
2 hours
intense.
plus.
Yeah, if you're in a bad mood, don't watch this movie.
Yeah, but it's good to see Sandler back for sure.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, if I caught your attention with or interest,
Taskmaster.
I caught your interest with Taskmaster,
Yeah,
then
I actually
look
think
that up.
welcome might just go home and watch an episode.
All right. So thank you for watching. God, let's do
Listening.
that again. So
Thank you for
listening.
finding us.
Yeah. Thank you for
If
listening.
any of you made it to the end, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully we'll do this again.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
See ya.
Bye.